What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mostly Movies podcast with Nick and Christian. He's Nick, I'm Christian, coming to you live from the Airbnb at an undisclosed location, which days are numbered, brother. We're moving out of the Airbnb soon, but we can we'll discuss all that today, guys. Shockingly, the movie we are mostly discussing is The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio Del Toro and Mia Threppleton. But before we get into all that, guys, as always, please head over to thescreengods.com for all of Nick's latest movie reviews and our full catalog playlist discography, if you will, of podcasts. And of course, you can always find us at the usual suspects: YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, IG, and X for more clips, reels, and other fun content. Guys, we have a banger of an episode for you guys today. It's been marinating on my mind. I'm kind of ashamed to say that we saw this instead of Mission Impossible, although it was half the runtime. The best part about the movie is that it starts and then it ends very quickly. Although Nick said it felt like forever, but.
Yeah, I have a totally different experience than you, but you're right. From a purely mathematical reality standpoint, it was within the parameters of acceptable.
I gave it 10 minutes and then I started just counting down until it was gonna be over. And the other thing too is Nick and I have talked quite a bit of shit about Mr. Wes Anderson, and
who is the director, in case you guys don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they're well aware. Have you seen this fucking movie? So I felt kind of obligated to at least check out one of his works, if you can call it that, in order to have a formed and educated opinion about what it was I'm talking about, or what it was we were talking about, and the shit we were
talking. Imagine that.
And this is one of those rare occasions in my life where I was 100% correct while completely talking out of my ass, but we were vindicated.
Sometimes you get lucky.
Well, broken clock is right twice a day. Isn't that the same?
That's right. Yeah, that is the same.
No, I walked out of the theater disappointed, for sure, but vindicated, as my hypotheses were proven 100% correct. And it was proof from the crowd in the theater, who we had one guy on our right who laughed twice, maybe twice, and they were it was so forced he farted while he laughed.
Yeah.
And he farted louder than he laughed.
Which I thought was like a part of the movie for a second, because that's the type of movie we were watching.
If he really did do that, it would have been the funniest part of the entire movie. Spoiler alert, guys, there is no place called Phoenicia, and there was no scheme that I could really decipher from the movie, and I read a lot of reviews, because this is what I do. I kind of read the reviews to see if I'm wrong or if I'm off base. No, we were not wrong. We were not off base. Nobody knows what the scheme was. I'm still not quite sure what Phoenicia was.
Well, let's quickly educate, because I think they're gonna need it. If they're gonna have any idea of anything, we'll give you what was supposed to be. I'll give you a quick what was supposed to be the baseline plot of this movie. Phoenicia was an ancient civilization located in Eastern Mediterranean, which today is Lebanon, Israel, that Middle East part. And it was known, it did exist, and it was known for its maritime trade and seafaring expertise, stuff like that. So it was definitely a epicenter for trade, which that is kind of what this movie is predicated on. The protagonist, couldn't even tell you his name now, which is played by Benecio Del-BORO, Del Toro, but this might be your best screen name so far. Benicio Del-BORO.
It was a layup.
Exactly. I guess, if you want to say that, but I forget who his main character is already.
I don't remember any.
Zaza Corda. That's
Zaza Corda, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Can I push back real quick on this? Phoenicia was an ancient city?
Yes.
Okay.
Civilization. Ancient
civilization. And they seem to know what they were up to.
Yeah, they were like the Mediterranean area, which, that was at that time. That was big trader.
Do we have a date, or just ancient is all we get?
Ancient
to me screams caveman. What is ancient to you? biblical times?
Romans would be ancient to me. I would look at Romans as kind of. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends.
And then this.
I don't know. You're right. It's ancient. Actually, technically, ancient should be BC. So BC before Christ would be, I think, how you would quickly define ancient, which would kind of be the Romans because they were before and after.
Yeah.
But
this movie takes place in the early 1900s or 19.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't even tell you honestly when it takes place.
Well, based off the mustaches, the time is based off the mustaches. That's the only way I can pinpoint when this movie took place, and even still, not really. But anyways, go ahead.
I'm looking at the baseline description of the movie, and it doesn't even really say. But the so anyway, it was about 3200 BC, but their greatest period of prominence was around 1200 BC. But anyway, bottom line is it's really old. It has nothing to do with anything other than the location, I guess. But it's not even explained, to your point, why it's even called that. I don't even remember now if he named it that. I think. Well, can we back up real quick? I want to say something about this movie. So first of all, Jim brought this up months ago when he saw the Wes Anderson, the preview for this movie. Him and I both saw these previews, and we both had similar reactions, which that movie looks terrible. And then Christian went further, and he started to grow a disdain for the previews because there's all these moments or points of time within the trailer, as you put it, that you're supposed to laugh, but it's not funny. So he started to grow resentment before even seeing it. I was just more like, this movie looks boring. So we started talking about Wes Anderson and the fact that his movies all look the same. If you guys don't know this guy, he also does the Asteroid City. I think his biggest movie you said is the Budapest Hotel. A handful of other terrible ones. I think we actually covered some of this on a previous pod. Some of his works, as you put it. But the point was we had you had made a statement that said they look pretentious. Mm-hmm. And also, when we put up a picture of Wes Anderson, he looks pretentious. So it matches.
Exactly how you think this guy would look.
Yeah, which I had no idea what he looked like. But both of us were basically just like, these look terrible. And then but as you pointed out, and Christian kicked this off by saying we want to give it a real chance. And I wanted to say, I actually did. His most famous movie until the Budapest Motel was way back in 2001, and it was the Royal Tenenbaums. That's where he really kicked it off. And I do got to say, I need to give myself a little reprieve. I did see that movie. And that movie in 2001 was just as boring as any of his other movies that I'm assuming. The only other one I've seen now is this one, which we'll get into just how terrible it is. I was bored in the Royal Tenenbaums, and I remember thinking, because it had all these big name actors at the time, which of course is what this guy does, right? He takes all the big name actors somehow, puts them in the movie. We'll get to the somehow part. I have a theory. Gets them in a screen made for movie play. It's the only way I can describe his style. And so my point is, I actually have seen it, and so I could have spoken on it by saying I've seen the Royal Tenenbaums. I wasn't impressed. I was bored, but we watched it again, and I will say very quickly, for me, my overarching description is I have never been so bored in a movie ever. I mean, I've seen some real bad movies, right, where they're not well made, or the screenplay is just not. It's just full of holes, or whatever, as Christian likes to say, they couldn't land the plane. I've seen all sort of. We saw Flight Risk, whatever it was, with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. Might have been the worst movie we saw last year, and it was exponentially more entertaining than this movie that we're going to talk about today. Yeah. So,
and it was filmed
we're going to say in a set that was probably 5 by 5 feet.
A Cessna.
So Christian's going to rip this thing to shreds, and rightfully so. I just want to say that's the overarching thing for me. I was so bored. At one point, I did fall asleep for about 10 minutes, and I had to shake myself out of it because I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I'm like, I don't want to. But that happened.
Nick snored. One snore. It was one snore. It was like a waking. Yeah, it was like an old man waking up from a nap snore. It was just a singular snore, and
that's where I'm at nowadays.
And I was concerned because you were waking up 15 minutes into the movie. Waking up, not falling asleep, waking back up 15 minutes into the movie. And I looked over at you and I was like, fuck me, this is going to be rough.
Boy, was it ever.
I don't even want to get into the plot unless you really want to. I mean, really, it's just about this sleazy corporate I guess, conglomerate dude who has ran out of money and needs more money from his investors in order to see his lifelong dream of Phoenicia come to fruition. And again, it doesn't explain what any of this stuff is, and it does it in parts, which is kind of interesting. I like movies that do that. Tarantino does that.
Does what now? Sorry, repeat that.
Like breaks it up into parts. So it had like the first investor, the second investor.
Yeah, like, instead of it's like instead of having a 3-act setup, it's got like 7 acts. He just breaks it up. Right.
And they were each act was like 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 50. Some were shorter than others, some longer than others. But yeah, no, I guess my only thing is Wes Anderson has to be on the spectrum, because the kid just loves bright colors and he loves patterns. That's it. He loves squares. The intro, dude, I know where I lost you, was in the opening credits in the scene of Benicio Del Toro in the bathroom.
My God.
In the bath with just nurses just walking around doing nothing. He's so pretentious, he has to name. And of course he does this bullshit where he goes, name of people in order, or in order of appearance, which is just fucking pretentious as hell. And then he goes to, the opening credits are every single person in the movie, and the opening credits are 10 minutes. Maybe it felt longer.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is exactly where you lost me, because I knew we've seen that in the preview. They do that opening scene in the preview already, or in the trailer. So I already knew that was coming, but my God, it was forever. It was forever. And anyway, keep going.
So there's no hook in the beginning of the movie at all. The opening scene is, okay, whatever. It reminds me of movies where they're driving in cars, old movies, and they're driving in cars and they're doing this with the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like every set piece was so two-dimensional, which is probably by design, because like you kind of touched on it. I guess it's kind of, he's going for it's trying to be a play, but every single set piece was all completely two-dimensional and flat, and there's no cohesion to the movie at all. Scarlett Johansson shows, we got to get into this too. Why? I want to hear your theory on why these actors sign up. What makes them think this guy is so brilliant? And I guess the funniest scene was maybe the basketball scene, and that's just because Bryan Cranston was somewhat
that
funny.
Was definitely him and Tom Hanks together.
Yeah, I mean, even Tom Hanks in that scene wasn't funny to me at all, but Bryan Cranston like calling out his shots was kind of funny, and he had the old school, Kurt Rambis glasses on, I guess.
He was funny. Just him.
Yeah.
Nothing about even the scene. It's just he was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it just I don't understand. And then you have Michael Cera, who shows up and who's obviously not the character he is, and then that's supposed to be the big twist, I guess, if there is one, at the end, where like, oh, he's a spy, and you're like, yeah, no shit, he has a completely shitty German accent. Like, yeah, like it was so obvious, and that was supposed to be some big reveal. I don't know. I guess the movie is about a dad finding his way back to his daughter. That's the best thing I could decipher from it.
That's the only substantial takeaway you could potentially make up, although it does a terrible job at that anyway. But yeah,
and the whole time you don't even know if it's his daughter. Let's talk about Benjamin Cumberbatch's whole getup, dude.
Oh my God.
The fucking eyebrows. The fight scene at the end between him and Del Toro, which is them just running around. Like the fight scene was literally a domestic dispute between a couple who's like in their kitchen by an island, and they're just running around the island, like trying to just get away from each other. It's so strange to me.
Oh, the preview? Other movie?
No, I'm saying like the fight scene at the end between Del Toro and Cumberbatch was like a couple in the kitchen fighting, like running around an island in a kitchen, just like trying to like avoid each other. It was so fucking.
Well, that's okay.
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
super. I do know what you're saying, and that's super funny though. That's funny for two reasons. One, I'm visualizing what you're saying, but two, in the previews before this terrible movie is another Benedict Cumberbatch movie that actually looks interesting. And he's running around. He's running around the kitchen, running from they're having the exact same fight. So funny.
Yeah, I just described that movie to a T. That's hilarious.
You did. Oh my God, that's awesome.
That movie looks pretty good, but
yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah,
a lot of the previews actually looked really interesting.
Yeah.
That was the best part of our experience. But yeah, the fight, everything about it was just corny. And yeah, I don't really know what else. Del Toro's great. I love Del Toro. Mia Thruppleton was fine, but her whole character was just deadpan and snarky. Which I guess
Right.
the whole dialogue is just deadpan and snarky. The jokes didn't land. Like I said, even the jokes that did land, it was one or two people. I was surprised there's anybody in the fucking theater for this thing. But there was. The dialogue was literally just, we discussed it just like, I didn't say that. No, you did say that. No, I didn't say that. No, you did say that. No, I didn't say that. And it's somehow supposed to be smart and creative and profound. And it was everything that I thought it was going to be. And I'm glad I have a leg to stand on now when I tell people this guy fucking blows balls and dicks. Because goddamn, dude, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't even know if he has fans. This thing has to be completely manipulated by bots and everything else, dude. I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know, and I have no desire to watch anything else. I'm good. Case closed, baby. We did it. It's over.
Case closed. Yeah, now I've seen 2, so I'm 0 for 2, and he's not getting a third. He doesn't need 3 strikes with me.
And you know what was really, I guess it wasn't funny, but what was supposed to be funny is this grenade bit where Benicio...
The hand grenade thing.
The hand grenade bit where he just keeps offering people a hand grenade was supposed to be the funniest running bit in the movie. And after they did it like 4 times, I'm like, okay, this is obviously supposed to be something. I don't understand any of it. Yeah, what a mind fuck that was. Couldn't have gone out of that theater any sooner.
So some of the influences, I'm on this Wes Anderson's Wikipedia file, and some of the influences he's
who's
cited.
his dad? His dad has to be somebody.
So I thought this was my theory, right? Because one of the things about this movie that I noticed, and I think my theory is going to fall apart, but one of the things I noticed was that there's a Coppola as a co-director on this thing. Sorry, writer, Roman Coppola, which the whole Coppola family, right? They're all part of that old Hollywood, right? Francis Ford Coppola, right? That movie we never saw, Mega Floppy Tits, you were calling it?
Mega Floppy Tits, yeah.
Yeah, we never saw that. I don't know if he's related, but Roman Coppola, spelled the same, was on this, and he was also on Asteroid City. I'm looking at this thing now. This Coppola guy, a writer. The French Dispatch, which I think was also one of theirs, and might be it. But this will now be the 3rd joint venture that they've done. So I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper to see if he was also part of the Isle of Dogs, which was with Wes Anderson as well. Okay, yes, here we go. Here we go. Never mind, dude. Okay, I got it. I think my theory's right. Who are Roman Coppola's parents? Francis Ford Coppola and Eleanor Coppola. So old Hollywood. Somehow Wes Anderson hooked up with one of the Coppola kids, and I think that is what's driving his influence in Hollywood. So somehow he got a crack at that, and I'm sure, if we go back, and one thing we haven't done, and it would be dated if we did this, and there's no way you and I are going to give it the time of day, but if you and I really wanted to do R&D to figure out, okay, we know he stinks now, we know he's got the Coppola guy in his pocket now, he's probably getting help, we get all that, but someone at some point had to see something that he did and said, you know what, I'm willing to stick my neck on the line for this guy. And I can tell you it wasn't the Royal Tenenbaums, because that movie is just as bad as this.
Well, that goes back 25 years, and he had every actor in Hollywood. He had fucking Gene Hackman.
Right.
Which he might have killed Gene Hackman.
Jesus, I know. It just took, it was a slow death. It was a long burn.
I mean, that had to be, one of his last movies, right?
No, he did several more after that.
Well, what was the Will Smith one? When did that come out?
Enemy of the State.
That was the 90s, though, right? That wasn't 2000s.
Yeah, of the State was 1998, but Gene Hackman did a couple others.
Well, he fucking.
But that doesn't matter. It definitely was the beginning of the end. That's for sure.
But
anyway, so that was my theory: is that he's somehow got him with Coppola. Turns out I'm right.
Well, what a fucking way to carry out your dad's legacy by just making 6 dog shit movies, and then your dad coming out with Mega Floppy Tits just for the cherry on top.
Well, the irony though is that the Roman Coppola guy, his name's not even coming up. It's all just Wes Anderson, because Wes Anderson's the director.
Right.
Coppola's the writer, but he writes with, and this movie was written by both of them. But yeah, anyway, look, these people know each other. But my guess is Wes Anderson. It says he gained acclaim for the '96 movie Bottle Rocket, and then a movie called Rushmore. So you and I, if we were ever gonna be like, maybe, oh my God, that looks terrible too. Actually, I'm gonna share my screen here. Even the posters, and this is what Christian was saying about the previews and this guy in general. Everything just looks pretentious and just stupid. It just doesn't look. They don't look This is the thing. They don't even look like attractive. So it's like, why do people see this? So here's the. Can I zoom in here? Is that a thing I can do? Hold on.
Oh, no, I see it though.
All right. This is the poster for one of his claim to fame movies early on.
The movie poster screams old Hollywood pretentious bullshit.
Yeah, everything about this and it's got Schwartzman, who was he was a big deal back then, Murray, and whoever this other chick is. That's Schwartzman. Anyway, so maybe that movie, but even as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'd have to look at that and be like, maybe that was really good. And he just made crap afterwards, but I doubt it. I think it's just that style is just lost on you and I, and that was the thing you and I said. We're gonna see this movie and then we're gonna go, I don't get it. And then whoever likes this guy, and it's not doing well, by the way, we should state that for the record. It's only got a 6.9 on IMDb. Its popularity,
that is far too high.
Yeah, and here, I'm gonna rate this because I can. I'm gonna give it a 1 star.
And then you have the biblical scenes too, with like Willem Dafoe. You have Bill fucking Murray, who's 95 years old. You trotted his corpse out for this bullshit.
And he was in the original one that I was just talking about. That one, the Rushmore. He was in that one.
Yeah,
he was the main star.
I mean, this guy must have. We talk about P. Diddy having dirt on people. What the fuck does Wes Anderson have?
That's the other thing I was gonna say. And who did I tell?
Wes Anderson has the Epstein files.
That's exact, dude.
Him.
Okay,
he's got him.
You and me are on the same page, dog. We're 100% on the same page because, that's what I told a buddy of mine who he was FaceTiming me afterwards, and he was like, "How was the movie?" I was like, "Well, let me tell you, I don't know who sees this movie, but I think this guy has the Epstein files." I said, "I think he knows they're all on the adrenochrome, and he's just." That's what it is. Like, he's got the list.
Yeah, dude.
And it starts with Francis Ford Coppola.
Someone call Kash Patel and get him to Wes Anderson's front door. It's crazy, dude. It's insane.
I mean, the list of people in this movie, yeah, I mean, you got Benicio Del Toro, Michael Cera, Truman Hanks. That must be another Hanks kid. No picture. William Dafoe, Donald Sumter, that's a name most people won't know. But anyway, yeah, there's dude, it's wild. Anyway, it's exactly... I was so confused through this whole film. They tried to break it up, like you said, into pieces to make it more digestible. Yes, I knew that he was trying to finance this project, and it was stupid. Stupid.
The part in the beginning with the kid shooting the arrows into the shoebox, like, there's just so many moments where you're like, I'm supposed to laugh right now. This is supposed to be it. What fucking movie have you ever seen where you go, this is the funny part? Until after you've seen it.
Only movies that were old where the comedy was supposed to be that way, which I guess is maybe the point. But there were some old movies, like I think of, and this is dating us, and well, it's dating me, and even this is way before my time, but it reminds me of movies that Mel Brooks would make. Do you know who Mel Brooks is?
Yeah.
Like Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Those types of movies where the comedy is obviously supposed to be funny, but it was done that way. But for that time period, it made sense because comedy was so new. That kind of comedy was so new back then.
Yeah, no, that's very true. If this was made in the teens or these, it would be funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking shit show this thing was. If he gets funded for another movie, I swear to God, dude, what are we doing? What the fuck what is Hollywood doing? I don't get it. But on the flip side, there were a lot of good trailers. That Paul Thomas Anderson movie with DiCaprio looks good.
Yes. Yeah, that does look good.
Yeah, and he did There Will Be Blood and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is great.
Paul Thomas, our dad's name, which is funny.
And Del Toro's in that too, and he looks great in that. But yeah, it's got to just be they're just offering such a shit ton of money at these actors for like a minute or two of screen time, and it's like probably down the street from where they live, and they're just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll fucking do your bullshit movie. It's like they're kind of just patting him on the head, and they're like, yeah, I'll do your movie, little buddy. I'll do your stupid passion project ass movie. I don't get it, dude. I can't hate it anymore. I can't hate the guy anymore. And he has such a hateable fucking face, which I do too.
Who?
So Wes Anderson.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I get that.
And the thing is, they're not even, we talked about this in the last pod, they're not even throwing a lot of money at these actors. I think more the convenience thing is more probably true. The budget on these movies is $20 million. That's the whole budget. So it's not like they're throwing a bunch of money at these guys. Dude.
Majority of that is going to the actors. I guarantee it.
So how about
16 fucking movie stars in the movie?
Well, there's some money going elsewhere, but this is interesting. So here's the headline that I wanted to read that I thought was funny. Michael Cera, he's quoted as saying, filming the Phoenician Scheme had Michael Cera in awe. Now,
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
That's the article. Now I'll tell you why though, and I guess it will make sense, but it'll still drive us crazy. And here's what it is: with more and more movies being made on virtual sets, director Wes Anderson still likes to do things the old-fashioned way. We know that. That's his whole thing. And the new movie Phoenician Scheme is no different. I want to come back to that. It is no different, which is the problem. Evolve, dude. Do something else. But anyway, it's no different. Michael Cera, one of the film stars, said when he read the script, he didn't know how they'd be able to shoot on practical sets, and then he was amazed when he saw the sets that they'd be filming on. So I want to take this opportunity to say this. This movie stinks. We don't like any of it. It's boring. The plot sucks. We've covered this. But to pull something out of the positives, I wanted to say, sure. The camera angles and the things that he kind of centers on, like there's little things that he does with the camera that is obviously different than anything else being made today because it's intentionally that way. Fine. You have an identity. I could at least give him that and say, yes, you have an identity. No one makes movies like that. So, okay. Like you said, he's using patterns, two-dimensional sets and all that stuff. There's some, like the scene you were talking about where the opening one where I fell asleep, where it's being filmed from the ceiling, like camera scenes like that, like, yeah, okay, fine.
Sure.
It's fine. Like it's okay. But that is outside of that and Michael Cera. I actually enjoyed Michael Cera's performance because I just felt like without him in it, and to your point, without Bryan Cranston in it, and Bryan Cranston was barely in it. So, but Michael Cera had much more screen time, and I kept thinking two things. Michael Cera is the least named actor on this whole thing. Like he did an indie movie 2 months ago called Sacramento, like that, which is crazy. That he's doing indie movies, and all of a sudden he's in this huge. I'm going to call it a huge movie with all these A-list actors, and Michael Cera, maybe he's an A-lister, but not by name. Most people don't know him like that.
A-lister? So I was no. He might be Tom Cruise. Fucking no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he isn't, but he's in this movie with all the Benicio Del Toro is, Tom Hanks is, Bryan Cranston is. These guys are all A-listers. Scarlett Johansson, and then there's Michael Cera. So I actually thought it was interesting because he got so much screen time, and I actually thought without him in it, I was like, I wouldn't have been able to stay awake. And even barely him in it was barely enough. So I'm just going to say those are the two things. I'm okay if you're giving them some credit on some unique camera angles. Fine. And Michael Cera, good job. Good on you, bro, to get yourself into a crowd of all these big names and get more screen time than them, which is interesting. And that's it. That's all I got for you on this movie. I will never see another Wes Anderson movie again.
No, and he shouldn't be able to make another movie again. And the quote about him saying he was in awe about the sets, they're made of fucking cardboard and paper mache. All the props, the bomb, the dynamite, like all that shit looked so fucking cheap. And again, this is probably what he's going for, I guess. And it's one thing to have an identity as a director. Like Christopher Nolan has an identity as a director. Quentin Tarantino has an identity as a director. But they make very different movies. Yes, are they similar in style? Somewhat, yeah. But they look different. They are about different things. This fucking guy has made the same fucking movie 8 times in a row. Asteroid City, like it's the dialogue is the same. It's all the fucking same movie. So in his case, it's like, no, stop. Your identity sucks. Stop doing that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Royal Tenenbaums was like a drama. it was completely a 180 from what all his other movies are. Like, I don't remember the set pieces, and again, I think I saw the movie one time, and maybe not all of it, but I don't think it was weird set pieces.
No, it was like one. No, that might have been. There were practical set pieces, but I think it was just in a house mostly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Shit.
Like,
okay.
But yeah, very basic though. Still, your point stands. It's not,
and
you know.
And if the best thing you can say about this movie is that he did an overhead angle, okay, the fuck. that like, I guess it's creative. I mean, it's been like, but if that's the best thing you could say, I mean, wow, that's pretty freaking rough, dude.
That is the best thing I could say. Like, I'm like I said, I'm pulling stuff out because it was so incredibly stupid and boring that I'm just trying to find things, like you said, that might make it stand out.
I did like Jeffrey Wright. I love him and everything. He's great. You love all these actors, and you're like, man, fucking, make them act, make them do something, anything. I mean, you and I could act this fucking movie out. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say beyond what we've said, but we like you said, and it was the other things that you said were true. It was pretentious. The fact that I was so confused on a plot, like, I'm sure. Here's what I was trying to think. This is the last thing I'll say about it. Is one of my daughters, my 17-year-olds, was like, "So what did you see?" And I tried explaining this to a 17-year-old. It's impossible. I mean, the language they use, and like you said, I mean, the Phoenicians, I keep calling it the Phoenix scheme, the Phoenician scheme, that the civilization doesn't even exist anymore. There is no scheme. I mean, technically there's a scheme, but it's really just him getting money.
Yeah.
There's no purpose to this movie. And like you said, like if I was to say, what was it about? I'd be like, like you said, I guess a guy finding his way back to his daughter, but there is no emotional, intimate meaning of anything. So that's not even good. And then,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, the whole, they kept saying you got to cover the gap, cover the gap. There's just language in there that like very few people are gonna it's even gonna resonate with them or hold their attention, and it didn't hold mine at all. I was like, dude, I'm so bored. I'm so bored with this. Why do I care about this?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I don't give a fuck about the gap.
I don't
care about the gap.
Don't care about it.
And the end of the movie, he doesn't succeed. And the best part about the movie is the end, where he opens up a restaurant with his daughter and all his 18 sons, and they just live out the rest of their life, I guess, drinking whiskey and playing cards. All right, fine, I guess. I think the daughter would have had a better life as a nun, but gave that up for whatever fucking reason.
When the movie was ending, I was waiting for it to end because I was like, tell me there's going to be, this is what I was thinking. Tell me there's going to be a massive twist in the final scene here, where I was thinking, pull all the two-dimensional sets out from behind them and tell me that this was an acted play the entire time, like a play within a play kind of thing.
That would have been sick.
Give me something that is going to be redeeming, and instead it just ended as boring as it started. Normally I tell people, go see every movie. Don't see this.
No, please.
Don't see this movie.
Don't watch it. I mean, at least just dip your toe in to see what we're saying. But yeah, it ended. It even ended pretentiously, where they're like waiting for like a 18-minute applause, like at Cannes Film Festival. Like, no, you're not fucking getting that.
No,
you're definitely not fucking getting that. And I just would love to be in the writers' room with Anderson and Coppola, and I'm pretty sure it's just them sniffing each other's farts. A lot of farts this episode, but it's just one big fart box, and they're just like, yeah, that's great. And you're like, what the fuck? And they probably have like 3 or 4 other writers with guns to their head, like being like, yeah, it's pretty good, right? With a gun to their head, and they're like, sure, yep, really good. Would like to get the fuck out of here now and far away from this fucking movie as possible. Yeah, 100% dog shit, guys. 6.9 on IMDb is just insane. It's criminal. But again, obviously this kid has some sort of pull in Hollywood. I don't know what it is, but I would bet that in 5 to 10 years, this guy has some crazy scandal and he's got bodies in his basement.
I'm looking at some of these IMDb reviews, some of these headlines. It's visually beautiful but forgettable.
Like,
if you say so.
It was
a solid movie, maybe not for everyone, but I enjoyed it. I think leave it. Okay, this is how pretentious that Python-esque madness. This is a gloriously mad film from beginning to end. Okay, this is somebody named Matt James, 1973. When you use the terms gloriously mad,
yeah,
I think that's who we're talking about. Those are the people that like this type of movie. You're using just these pretentious terms.
I think anytime you start your review with visually beautiful, it falls off a goddamn cliff after that. Because you have nothing else good to say about it.
Exactly. It's like substance is not there.
And yeah, it's like, dude, it's visually beautiful. All this guy does is saturate the fucking colors, use hella pastel colors. Yeah, okay. Like, I don't understand.
Well, it's like you said. I mean, one time is cool, and if you're different, you're different. And like, I think that's the other thing too. Like, even if he did use the different cut patterns and stuff, and he did a good job of changing it up where it's not so repeatable. Let's just assume for a second that he was like, okay, I have a style.
Style's great.
Style's cool. But even if that, and he repeats it, so it's not even good right now, but assuming that he did a better job of not regurgitating it with the whole past, like, here's what I'm trying to say. Maybe he went with a all sepia in his next movie. Okay. That's still stylistically on par with what you do. But no, he just saturates it and goes vintage, 50s colors every time.
Right.
So it's like you're not even changing that up. But even if you did do that, even if he did do that and make a slight adjustment to his filtering, we'll call it, the movie still sucks. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So bored. I was so bored.
Like, I don't give a fuck about, and this is the same thing in why people love the Dune movies so much too, which I think are fucking highly overrated. But people say the same thing about this shit too. It's visually beautiful. Okay. That's 1/4 of the entire fucking movie. By the way, every movie should be visually beautiful. I'm watching it. My eyes are watching the fucking movie.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I don't want a visually ugly movie unless it's supposed to be gritty or, unless it fits the kind of theme you're going for in the movie, then maybe. But no, the reason I'm watching the movie, I want it to be visually appealing. That should be the bar. Visually appealing.
At you, Clint Eastwood. We have to be able to see the movie. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Got to be able to see the actors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Again,
that's the bare minimum we can do here, guys.
And again, another guy with a style, which, I don't love, but it's like, okay, John Woo has a style. Fucking pigeons. Doesn't make it good. Fucking doesn't make it good.
There has to be other things.
Yeah, it's like when people got a hold of the slow-mo effect, when that first came out, and John Woo fucking beat that fucking horse to death.
Thing into the ground.
Yeah. That doesn't mean it's good.
Well, and look, if you're the first person, I'll say this, if you're the first person to get it into a movie and use it in a way that's never been used before, I'm all right with that. Now, I don't know if John Woo fits into this category, but I'll give you a perfect example. The Matrix scene with the bullet and Keanu Reeves and the stop motion. Okay, look, after that, everyone started doing that. They overuse it. That was the new slow-mo, right? That whole stop motion, 360, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But the first person to do it, you did that, right? But okay, that's it. Now everyone's doing it, so it's, you got to keep evolving.
You got to evolve, and shout out to the Wachowski brothers who just became women after that. That's how you evolve. The guys who made The Matrix, they transitioned to women because they didn't want to do the style anymore.
We're not doing it.
No, we're done. We're going to completely just change our style and just become women after that. So pretty
interesting. I've only seen The Matrix one. I was too long. I fell asleep in that too. I was like 12 or something. Anyway, all right. So I think that's more time than necessary, but I can't
believe we got 43 minutes into that.
I knew we would, because sometimes when things suck, you get more out of it. And this really did. It sucked.
It sucked.
As I tell my kids, suckus Maximus.
And I'm so sad because Sicario is one of my favorite all-time movies. Benicio Del Toro's fucking fantastic, and you just look at it and you go, God damn, what a fucking waste. But hey, get your paycheck, get your money, baby boy. We'll see you at Paul Thomas Anderson's movie, which is going to be a way better fucking film.
A lot of good movies coming out. I'm excited about the new Coen Brothers movie as well.
Yes.
Honey Don't or Honey Stop, something like that with Margaret Qualley.
Oh my God. Every time that fucking preview comes on, dude, I just, I can't. She does something to me. She does something to me, especially when he bites. She does the whole lip biting thing. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
All right. Well, I just want to see it. I actually think it's just going to be a good movie. And I also like Aubrey Plaza a lot too. Yep. She's really funny. Love her. But yeah, and I love Coen Brothers movies. So that looks good. The other one you said looks good. The only thing I'm not thrilled about, I don't know what it is. I do not like Chris Evans, dude. I don't like him.
I like him in these roles, though. In these smaller side character roles, I think he's great. You don't think he looks good in this new one?
No, that's actually that's actually the conflict. I think
okay.
there's something about his face. It's nothing he can control. But he does look funny and whatever. But I think it's the fact that he, you know what I think it is now? I'm trying to think through this. He looks the same in every movie. They don't.
Yeah.
It's almost like, like a lot. So I think what it is, like we were talking about that, like, when you have a C or B listers where they say just go in and be yourself, that's okay because you're a C or B lister, so you that's what you're there to do. But Chris Evans is an A lister. And he never changes. It's like, even in this movie, they're putting him in different outfits. He's in a pastor's uniform. He's in this. He's in that. But he's still got the Captain America haircut. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
And I'm just, there's something weird about it where I'm like, I feel like he's not even trying. Or that they're just like, yeah, you can just be Chris Evans because you're handsome and you don't have to do anything else. Which, shit, even Brad Pitt, he's eating something. He's got a shtick. He looks like Brad Pitt in every movie.
He does, but I mean,
But he's also grown his hair long, and no, I'm not talking trash about Brad. He does have range, but for a long time, it was like he just looked the same in everything.
No, totally, and that's a fair.
Anyway,
I think it's a totally fair criticism, but I think that movie's gonna be great. I think Chris is gonna be actually pretty great in it.
What was that movie that he did? I think it was called, and I was surprised that I liked it.
Knives Out,
or liked him in it. No, not that.
Oh, I liked him in that.
There's
too.
a movie called.
I think
it's called The Gray. It was him and Ryan Gosling.
No,
Ryan Gosling.
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man. I think he played the villain in The Gray Man.
Yeah,
Chris Evans did.
It
was entertaining.
Yeah,
it was entertaining, but he looked the same.
Yeah.
Same tight jeans, everything's the same.
Yes. Yeah, same haircut. Yeah, they could do to switch up the haircut every now and then, I guess.
I don't know. It's not really his fault.
But
anyway, all right. So those movies look good.
I do like him as a villain, though. I think he plays a pretty good villain. But again, I think it's a fair criticism of him. He does. He's no Christian Bale. He's no Christian Bale, baby.
Right. All right. What do you got? What stinks this week?
What stinks this week? Well, I had a run-in with AAA, the insurance company, which I've never had a bad experience with AAA, but I got a somewhat hefty charge on my bank account, and I went to investigate this. And, they have to pull up your account, so you give them your member number, you have to give them your address, you have to give them your birth date, your social security number, you have to do all these things, and they hit you back with, well, it's not the right address on the account. So we cannot give you any more information further about the issue or the problem at hand. And it drives me up because
you can't verify one of these 5 things.
One of these 5 addresses or whoever else is on the account, but you've taken my money. I've given you my membership number. I've given me my birth date, my bank card, which is attached to this account that you're charging, by the way. And they cannot give you any information. They have to make a case out of it. They have to investigate it further. And it drives me up a goddamn wall how fucking complicated shit is just to get information, especially when they charge you. No problem, we're gonna take your money, and then you go, I have all my information that I need, I just need to know what you know. And they go, no, we can't do that because I don't have the right address on the account, although they see the address that I need to know. That's the thing. They have the answer. They're looking at the answer, and you're off by like your zip code is off or whatever, and they go, no, we can't do it. So that's really fucking frustrating, but it has since been dealt with, so it's all good. But yeah, it's the more technological we get, things should be getting easier, and they're not. And you'll touch on this, I'm sure, with your whole phone debacle. Yep. Things should be simpler now with the amount of information and technology we have, and it's not getting any simpler. And it's to the point where I'm just like, fuck the entire thing. Let's just go back to this is just everybody turn in their cell phone. It's like, don't turn in your guns, just turn in your cell phone, everybody, and we can just go back to the 90s and all live a healthier, happy life. Yeah, it's insanely frustrating. But the other one, my bigger issue. So I was at the gym the other day, and you
have stories from the gym often.
I'm there a lot, and we're running a pretty small outfit right now because we have a makeshift gym, so we don't have a lot of equipment, but we have enough. But these fucking people who take up multiple machines at one time, trying to do like a circuit or something, but they're using equipment that is not close to each other. It's across the gym from where they're currently working out. And these 3 people the other day, they're all doing like the same circuit or whatever. They took up, I shit you not, 8 machines. They're using 8 different machines, but not using them all at the same time. They're just, you could tell they're like, oh, they're gonna go use this machine next, or they're, finishing up on this other machine. Join CrossFit. Join fucking CrossFit. A regular gym is that you cannot be on the fucking cables. You cannot be on the bench. You cannot be on the free weight bench. You cannot use all this fucking equipment at the same time. And so finally, I'm like, I gotta work out. I got to do what I came here to do. So I'm trying to work my tries. The ropes, just the pull down ropes. Very fucking simple.
Yep.
I thought they were done with it. And so I'm doing my thing. And this girl who was previously using it, she comes up to me and does the whole, because I have my headphones in, makes me take out my headphones. She goes, "Oh, you're using this now?" And I go, "Yeah."
See me using it?
Yes. I am now using this machine that you were not using. By the way, you were just over there across the room doing a completely different workout, but now you think you're somehow entitled to this machine that you're not fucking using. It's insane to me, and it's fine, but the audacity to come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're using it now?" Yes, I have to use it. What
was she actually trying to accomplish? Because she can see you're using it. So
I don't know.
What was the actual thing you were trying to accomplish?
It was we were using. It was definitely a passive aggressive we were actually using this. But she knows, she fucking knows she can't say that, because I would be like, "Well, you weren't here, so you can't fucking do that." Go to CrossFit. This is exactly what CrossFit is for. Doing multiple fucking workouts. Like, I'm all about it, baby. I'm all about it. But like, to just be like, to assume that other people are just gonna like wait for you, and it's like, or just be like, "Hey, do you want to like jump in on this or whatever?" Like, okay, or just be like, "Oh, okay." Whatever the fucking case is, but to be like, "Oh, you're using it now?" Yes, I'm fucking using it. You see the limited amount of machines and equipment we have. Like, yeah, I don't understand what you fucking expect. I'm gonna fucking use it. It's crazy,
dude. This is such a bizarre thing to even have to talk about. I've been a gym member off and on over the last 30 years. Not a I go every day kind of member, or whatever, but I've been there enough to know the etiquette. Anyone who's been in a gym knows you cannot do what they're doing. That is the first year or the first month you go to a gym. That's the first thing you're told by anyone who's a regular gym goer is the etiquette is it's like not talking when someone's teeing off on the golf course. Everyone knows you cannot create a circuit in public communal equipment areas. So that's just basic day one. Now you're in a small gym, as Christian pointed out, that there's very limited equipment here because it's a temporary, and you're gonna triple down on taking up 80% of the equipment in the gym, like with multiple people. It's just bizarre.
It's crazy.
They would even think that. And ultimately, I've seen this at other gyms where I think Planet Fitness does this, where they will put up a sign that says you cannot run a circuit on this equipment, because everyone knows that you shouldn't be doing that. But there's idiots like this who just do it. And the fact that there's multiple of them doing it, it's like, what are we on the schoolyard, dude? Like you took the jungle gym and the basketball court and the tetherball, and you guys are just going to take it all?
Yeah.
And I have to just fit in? Like, no way.
Yeah, and
it's crazy.
And especially like if the gym's empty, sure, do whatever you want to do if the gym's empty.
Yeah,
but
until it's not.
As soon as you see like me go over and use the equipment, you should in your head be like, okay, well, I'll do a different tricep workout, because there's multiple ones, by the way.
Right.
There's multiple things you could fucking do, but it's also the spacing of where they were at. That's what's so crazy. It's like, bitch, you are 100 yards away from me. If the machines are in close proximity, maybe. And even still, then it's a non-starter. You can't do it. But if you're using 3 machines close to each other, maybe I'll let you get away with it. You cannot be across the entire room and then walk over to me and be like, "Oh, you're using it." Like that's fucking insane, dude. It's insane. So
it's nuts.
And then
you're
passive
completely
aggressive,
within the right on this whole thing.
And I fucking work there too, so I gotta mind my P's and Q's.
Well, I was gonna ask you, who runs the gym part, management wise? Now that you are management,
there's not really anybody that really.
Well, someone has to.
Well, it would be
this.
like the ops team, the operations team, but like there's no one really to, I don't know. I don't think there's really a manager of that, but yeah, it was just fucking.
Well, it'd be like, to me, it'd be like the club manager. Like, like this is a courtesy thing.
I mean, maybe
you can't do that.
Maybe the general manager, but like, no, she knew immediately when I was just like, yeah, I'm using it. And like, dude, she didn't say anything after that. It was fine. But I was just like, even the fucking, like, to come up to me and make me take my headphones out. It's like, I'm fucking using it. Don't fucking interrupt me. I didn't interrupt. Well, I guess I did interrupt your fucking bullshit circuit, but fuck you. Like, I don't fucking care.
No, I slid in when it was time.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
If there's no one using them, if there's no one on the machine, there's no water bottle, there's no towel, there's nothing by it, you're fucked. Figure something else out.
None of that makes any sense. Yeah. All right. Well, that's
that's
ridiculous.
And the other thing I wanted to say was I saw the new gym is complete, and it is literally Globo Gym from Dodgeball. It's crazy. Ben Stiller is on the screen calling everybody fat. It's fucking insane, dude. It's so crazy.
Is it way bigger? Does it have
it's fucking humongous, dude.
I'm trying to figure out where the actual gym is, because when I walked by there, you gave me the tour, and I don't know where is the equipment.
We didn't go in there because it was under construction, so we didn't go in there. But yeah,
it's holding out on me. I thought I was getting the VIP tour. I didn't get to see anything.
Hard hat area only, baby. Couldn't do it. But yeah, it's Globo Gym. It's so funny, dude. It's crazy. But
dude, one of my favorite lines of any comedic movie, and I mean there's plenty, like there's dozens but I use this one all the time, is when I forget who it was, I think it was Vince Vaughn, walked into his office at the Globo Gym, and he looks in the movie, and he looks up at the wall, and it's Ben Stiller, and he's got that him where he's wrestling a bull or whatever, and looking at it, and Ben Stiller's like, that's me grabbing the bull by the horns. Dude, it's so funny. Ben Stiller, man. Ben Stiller, I miss his brand of comedy. It was entertaining. It was easy to understand, but it was also done very, very well. So, aside from him, kind of having his political moments now, aside from that, I do miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us the
what stinks for me this week? Well, we don't have enough time on this. But I will do my best to play off of Christian's first what stinks this week, which is the whole AAA thing and the technical verification. So I'll set the quick scene for you. I have been without a phone now going on 4 days. It started Tuesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I saw Christian on Thursday, and he couldn't believe that I still didn't have a phone a day and a half later. And here we are 4 days later, and I still don't have one. But what the Christian said at the end of his first segment about we should go back to the 90s and we should have everyone turn in their phones and not their guns, which I'm actually a huge proponent of that. I'm living that right now. So I have been both liberated, which I'll touch on, but also it is an absolute nightmare. So, but here's the quick story. I have a principal issue with buying new phones. They're just so expensive, and I understand they're supercomputers in your. I get that. I don't want to hear that stuff. I understand it. But it's also, as Christian pointed out, we're so technically connected now. We're so dependent that to me, it's the equivalent of of gas, right? Like when gas prices go up to $6, like I don't know why we're not doing that with cell phones. Like the moment they hit $300 and went above that, I think we should have been flipping out. Instead, you got people financing it, putting it on like Christian, no brain, no ask, and just financing watches and shit. And it's like, for $60 more a month, I don't know what the hell the people are doing. They're leasing phones.
It's like $20.
No, it ain't. It's ridiculous.
Mine's
anyway,
$20.
I'm just kidding. But the phone itself, But the phone itself, when you look at the price of a phone, it is $1,000 for a new phone. It's specifically iPhones. Now, you don't have to get one. I understand that. You can get an Android if you are, if you're insane. I can't because I'm a sane person, so I don't use Android. But anyway, that's my principal thing. So I've been trying to figure out how am I going to deal with this no phone problem once my phone broke last week. And because my previous phone was refurbished, I got a little PTSD from the refurbished thing. But also, I got to come out of pocket for that, which is going to be $400 for a respectable iPhone that is not 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And it was just really, really hard for me to do. So me and Christian talked about it. He lectured me on Thursday about this. And so you just got to get a new phone, dude. I mean, in his own way, and he's like, you just got to bite the bullet, whatever. I'm like, you're right. I do, but I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I will spare the saga of how many times I went to Metro PCS and the amount of hours I spent. Let's just say it was a lot. And if I had time, I will do this off air with Christian because you won't believe what I had to deal with. You just won't. If I journey this out on a timeline and storyboarded it, like it might be like a Phoenician Scheme movie. Probably more entertaining.
That is the Phoenician scheme. You getting a new phone.
Dude,
the Phoenician
literally,
scheme.
that's how exciting this story would be, and somehow he's making movies on that level of boring. But long story short, to bring this to a complete close, what stinks this week is I got all the way through this journey, and what was really cool is Metro PCS realized that they hadn't offered their longtime customers any upgrades in years because everyone wants an iPhone, and for some reason they had this deal with Apple where they would not allow Apple to be a part of your upgrade, and they still don't. But T-Mobile now owns Metro, and T-Mobile said, we got to give the Metro customers something. Like, we got to give them something.
Scraps.
So the promo was, we will give you a free 16E iPhone, which is one of the newest ones, if you just bring your Metro number to the T-Mobile network, which is hilarious because it's the same company. But it's basically, it doesn't really do anything. It just puts you in the T-Mobile database now and whatever, and fine. So at the end of this thing, I do get a free phone. But the funniest part about this whole thing, a free phone.
Okay.
Now, I did upgrade for the protection because I don't want to run through this ever again. So if I lose it, if I break it, whatever, it's completely covered because I got so much PTSD from this. But they did offer me the watch, and they tried to get me on the watch, free watch, $10 a month. I said, I don't want your watch. Take that away from me. I said, because this is how they get you, dude. And next thing you know, my bill was $60, and now it's $80 because of freaking all these things that I don't need. But anyway.
You're like, can I see the watch? And then you just strangle him with it.
Which would have been funny because guess what? They don't have the product.
Like a piano wire.
Or just take it and slap him with the loose end of it. Yeah. No, they tried to get me on. I said, no, just get me the phone. I just want the phone. This is a good deal for me. Whatever.
You stood strong. I'm proud of you.
I stood strong, but I'm also I'm doing what you wanted, which is just you should be able to deal with this upgrade. I did. I get to the end of this journey. I haven't even talked to you about the stinky part, but there's two stinks parts. It's two stinks parts. I can't even talk. There's two stinky parts of this story. The first is I get to the end of this saga. I'm so fired up. I'm going to get this phone. I have worked incredibly hard to get this to this point. And then I get on the phone with the corporate lady who's doing my transfer in the store, by the way. The people in the store, they can do basically nothing.
Nothing at all.
And the lady on the phone says, all right, great. So let's go ahead and write your tracking number down. And I'm like, what? So apparently for this promo, they can't give me a STD in the store.
No, definitely not.
They have to mail it. Why? I don't know. But the whole thing is I have been days without a phone, which will touch on the impacts of that. And I'm trying to get this done. And I can't do it. And I finally feel like I got it done. It's like getting to the end of the race. And then they just go, okay, you can't cross the finish line until Monday. The craziest thing. So that was a surprise. And obviously that stinks. So I still don't have one. But the other piece is it's one of the biggest parts of the journey to bring it to their AAA story was that in order for me to get even to that point, they needed me to answer 4 security questions.
Fuck.
These 4 security questions are not like your normal security questions. No. In fact, most of them are so simple, but they're not, but they are at the same time. The whole, like, what's your mother's maiden name and what address did you used to live on and your first pet? No, they don't have any of those. Here's the 4 questions.
Okay.
1, what day is your payment due? What day is your payment due? What day of the month is your payment due?
They hit you with Jeopardy?
Dude, just listen to this. Just listen to this.
You had to answer what is?
Dog, what is? Yeah, exactly. What day is your payment due?
Nobody remembers that.
No one knows that. So, dog, this is exactly what I'm telling you. The second one was actually pretty easy. It was how many lines are on this account, which for me was easy because I just have one line.
Wait, you cut out.
Then it was, what was the other one?
You cut out. What was number 2? What was number 2?
Number 2 was how many lines are on the account.
Okay, all right.
And I just have one phone line. Easy.
A trick question.
Then there was another one. Oh, the other one was how much is your payment? Your last payment, how much was it? I have mine on auto pay, so luckily for me, I do know that.
Okay.
And it never changes.
Oh, it's gonna.
I don't know how I pulled off the day the payment was due. I couldn't even tell you how I pulled that off. I just guessed. Uh-huh. Then we get to this one, and this one is the kick. This one is the zinger. It's the bee's knees or whatever. It's the holy grail of stupid questions. It's not the bee's knees. It's the holy grail of stupid questions. Here it is. What month did you activate your service?
Shut the fuck up.
I shit you not.
10 years ago?
I activated my service 5 years ago, but that's about 6 weeks more than I would remember. After 6 weeks, I'm never remembering that anyway. And the lady at the front, she was super nice. I got to shout out Isela at the Southport or the Harbor, West Sacramento, T-Mobile. Without you, I'm still on the street, homeless with no phone. She was doing everything she could to him. Well, I know, but I have one looming at least. She helped me with all this because she was like, and she gets on the phone with this corporate or whatever, their division that does all this stuff because they can't do anything. And she's like, how is he supposed to answer? I loved her for this. She's like, how is he supposed to answer that ridiculous question?
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous question. He can't answer it. He doesn't have a device for this whole thing, by the way, team and gang, that I'm even in this problem is because my device broke. So I cannot receive the 2-factor text messages. That's the whole catalyst I didn't really talk about.
2-factor bullshit.
That's the whole thing. And because I didn't get an email tied to my account somehow. I guess I never registered an email to it. But even if I did, I don't think it would have mattered. They send everything to your phone, to your device. Everything is text message, your code, everything.
Yeah.
So to your point about the technology and they make it so complicated, they literally could not help me. And she was raising hell with them, doing all this stuff. And it got to the point where she hung up on her own division and said, you guys suck and cannot help me. And my customer is going to leave. They're going to leave. They're going to go to another carrier because you can't help me with this.
They just cannot authenticate your account.
They can't do it.
Crazy, dude.
They can't do it. Like you said with AAA, they just refuse to do it. So she hangs up, does something to help me get through it. I don't know what she did, but she's been working with Metro for like 20 years. So luckily I got the old wily vet for one last ride. She's a manager of the store. You know, it's just what she's been doing
like
forever.
Fucking 4 tours in Iraq. That's
crazy.
I'm
telling you, dude.
What the fuck?
Dude, I know. It's crazy. It's a long time.
Dude, those are the most insane questions I've ever heard. It's like if you get them wrong, they just pull out a gun and just blow your brains out right there.
When they said,
that's crazy.
So when they said, what month did you activate service? I said 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. I'm like, I have no idea. How many guesses do I get? Because I get if I get 12, I'm on it. Anyway, dude, to your point about technology being dependent, I've been liberated.
You're going January? No.
It's June. Yeah.
No. Okay. I got it.
And like, oh, dude, it was insane. So, but because of not had one, to being liberated part, I just wanted to touch on real quick. Like, there is so much power in a couple of things. When people, I mean, I really want to get this PSA out to the listeners, anyone who will listen, you included. We have completely forgotten how nice it was to live when you were not on demand to everyone around you.
I know.
I swear to you, I have never felt so free. It's like people like no one, I don't have to tell anyone where I am. I could be anywhere I want to be, and no one would even know or care.
It's Jason Bourne.
Dude, I literally was thinking, now obviously there's risk to that. And I mean, we've talked about this on this podcast about how in the past, I mean, you could get kidnapped every day, everywhere in the 80s and 70s and no one knew you were missing. There's risk to this. But for me, I mean, I was like, I am beholden to no one. Now, I have kids and I have a wife, and my wife was at work and she's going to be at work and not know where I am. And that's okay.
Yeah,
but
it's like the 50s again, where you just say bye to your wife in the morning and then you show up at 6 or 7 o'clock and blacked out drunk.
And if you dude,
is dinner ready?
Were you at the bar again, Jerry? Yeah, I sure was.
Where's the fucking meatloaf?
Dude, you might get home after work at 5:30. You might get home at 7:15 because you had a flat tire, and all your wife could do is just wait. And then you would now. I was thinking about this. Man, the amount of stories and shit you could make up back then is incredible. You could say anything. I was attacked by beavers.
Literally.
Like, you could do whatever you want.
Whatever.
And no one would be able to say, you couldn't prove anything. So, but the power in this was incredible. I'm like, also hilarious. Since I don't have a watch, I watch, and I have a bunch of watches, but I stopped wearing them because I type all day is what I do. So my watch is always hitting the keyboard. It's just uncomfortable. So I don't wear watches really anymore to work. But when you don't have a phone or a watch, you realize you have no idea what time it is ever. I was like, dude, what time is it? I don't know. And I'm like going to Starbucks. I'm like, what time is it? I have to ask people for the time, dude. It was incredible. It was, but
look at the fucking microwave,
dude.
Go look at the stove.
It's been a crazy journey.
Yeah, but now you're off the drugs.
I know.
It's kind of sad now. You're gonna have to relapse.
It's very sad. I mean, I have been freed from all sorts of addictions, dude. Like I haven't listened to a podcast. Like I'm 4 days behind on my 49er news. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and I couldn't get in touch with Christian. I had to use my kids' phones to get in touch with you for the pod. Like there's plenty of problems when you're trying, like, communicating now. I mean, obviously that's what it is. It's a communication device. But dude, it is incredible. I'm going golfing tomorrow, and I told Jamie, I said, shit, I don't know how to get to this golf course. I don't have GPS.
You got a map.
I don't know how to get there. So I had to map quest it, dude. Well, it's Google Maps now, but I had to get on Google Maps and like write it down. This is the world I'm living in, dude. Dude, it's crazy. Well, actually, I wrote it down once, and then I was like, I think I got it. But still,
you don't got it. I know you don't got it.
Yeah, and if I don't have it,
you're fucked.
I just won't make it,
dude.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Imagine you having to walk into a gas station and ask for directions
or a map. Do you guys have a map in here? Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
It's crazy, but I think it has caused me to reflect, especially on the navigation thing, because I've had to drive around. Drove across town, drove to Folsom today, across town, and I was like, you know what, I probably should have a paper map somewhere, just in case. I mean, you really probably need one.
You're using the North Star.
North Star? No, you need systems for that. I got no. Anyway, dude. So
crazy.
That's what stinks is we are addicted to tech. I've been liberated, and now I'm putting back under the serum, under the drugs.
Yeah. You have to. It sucks. It fucking sucks.
If I asked you what month did you activate your service, would you be able to tell me?
Absolutely not, dude. I would say somewhere spring or summer. That's what I would say. I have no idea, but
incredible. Just incredible.
T-Mobile would never dare. Was this Metro asking you these questions or T-Mobile? It had to be Metro because that's.
I mean, they're the same. They're the same company, but yeah, I mean, the people I was talking to was the Metro people. Like I said, I actually have half an hour more story to tell you, but it's just not for listeners.
Yeah. If AAA hit me with those questions, I would have fucking lost my shit. It's like they didn't even think of security questions, or they thought they're like, yeah, everybody would remember this, and you're like, what?
Well, and what's crazy is I mean, obviously, mission accomplished because I didn't know it. So if someone was trying to impersonate me, they're not knowing it. I mean, unless they just try once and get lucky, they got whatever the math is, one out of 12, whatever that percentage is.
Or if you just push hard enough, and if you have a employee that's about it, who's gonna fight for you, then yeah, you're gonna get the fucking answers. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, but. But yeah, I mean, they kept saying to the store manager at Metro, our number one focus is our client security. I'm like, I get it. I'm your client. I need to get in.
I don't give a fuck. Okay, like as long as my bank accounts are good and like all that is secure. Like what? I'm not worried about somebody getting into my fucking T-Mobile account. What the fuck are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What's the most you're gonna do? Like charge something to my account and then I just claim it as fraud? Like what? Like
I honestly don't.
What data would they have access to through my T-Mobile or Metro account? I don't understand. Maybe all of it. I don't know.
I mean, unless they're just who knows? I mean, if they're just cloning. But the thing is, it wasn't even me accessing it. That's the thing. It was the store person doing it. I was just trying to get help.
Right.
And also I had to. This was the craziest part, and this was the thing that the store manager, just real quick, the last thing I'll say, where she was like, "I don't understand it. I cannot understand this," because what they first have me do is get an ID. I give her my California driver's license to prove that I am me.
Right.
She's like, why do we get your ID to prove that you're you and then ask security questions? The whole point is to prove you're you. You're right in front of me.
That is.
So she's like, why am I using the ID? And that's where we are. It's like the ID used to be the thing.
And it's true because I remember when I went to T-Mobile hungover, I talked about it on this pod, like they won't even speak to you unless you have an ID. If you do not have an ID, they turn around and walk out of there. You're not getting shit. You're not getting anything done. Period.
Yeah, well now, even if you have one, you're still not getting anything done. So it's crazy.
That's crazy. Dude,
man.
All to upgrade, all to give them more money. That's what's crazy.
I know, it was nuts. It was crazy. Anyway, guys, we're at an hour and 17.
We done did it, baby.
What a terrible movie.
We're back.
And looking forward to the next one. There's some good movies coming, so stay with us.
Dude, 28 years later, next week. I heard it's fucking nuts. I heard it's crazy.
The trailer looks phenomenal.
I know.
So I got to watch the movie. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
I heard yeah, you should. And talk about a movie that looks like shit. That's a movie that looks like shit, and you'll see, but it fits. No, I heard it has one of the craziest third acts ever to a zombie movie, so super excited to see that, and can't wait to report back. Guys, thank you for all the support. As always, we love you. Head over to thescreengods.com for everything, as we mentioned at the intro. As always, Nick, I love you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, love you too, guys. Hey, like and subscribe, people. Follow us.
Yes, sir. All right, see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.